Margit. Hello, Rod. How are you both?
We're good, thank you.
Good morning,
Nice to
Kelly.
see you. So, Rod, there is a story to these tunes. I heard that you dusted them off and you pulled them out of your past. Tell us about that. When did you write them?
Yes, I think they were written in about 93, 94 with a friend of mine, Terrence Armstrong, who has since passed away, unfortunately. And we ended up we decided we'd go in a different direction with our music, even though we appreciate all the casinos and the things that we play right now. And we thought, over the last 20 years or so, not a whole lot has changed, really, since these songs were written.
Tell me more about that. You have a First Nations heritage?
Yes, I'm from the Kakite Nation down in New Westminster, and so we wrote these songs. And they're pretty much native-based. Talk a little bit about residential schools and about a little hope that, one day maybe we can work as one, the four colors of the medicine wheel.
Did you, are any of these sort of songs that resonate sort of with your own personal experience or just family experiences?
They were pretty much family experiences because, especially with the residential schools, even though I was moved to Vancouver at the time by my mother, that it's still affected the whole family since then, right?
Of course it does,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you remember about that? Did your mom talk about it much?
Well, my mother's passed away a long time ago, but she moved to Chinatown in Vancouver and married my father, who was Chinese, just because it was better off her being classified as Chinese than Indian. And she never told me until I was about 14 that I was half First Nations.
Really?
Yes.
How did you feel when she told you that at 14?
I wasn't quite sure then, It took a while to process all that. And then my sister, the chief of the Kakite Nation, went about and finally got our status back in about 28 years ago.
Really?
And now we have our land claims in, of course, being stalled, and that was pretty interesting when we found that out.
I bet.
And we
Life-changing.
Yes, and we thought that we were from Musqueam because we had an aunt that lived in Musqueam. And then when we got our cards, we were from New Westminster. So that was a surprise for us.
Why did you decide to bring these songs to light now?
Well, I think it was time, in this time of, like I said, nothing much has changed. People we're still fighting to get land, and the government is still pushing us off again, and, it was just time.
And Margit, let's bring you in on this. What was it like for you as Rod's partner in life and on stage? What was it like for you to discover this music from his past? You didn't know him back then, obviously.
No, I didn't know him back then, but the lyrics in the songs are just amazing, and I have learned so much from this man. It's not even funny. He is an inspiration to all First Nations people and everybody else, and playing these songs, the first time we did this show was in the Columbia Theatre in New Westminster, and I just was so incredibly proud. He does most of the singing, which is kind of a new thing for us. So.
You're normally the singer.
Yeah.
What is it like performing these songs together?
Well, we have fun. And we have such a connection that, a lot of the time we don't even have to look at each other, and we kind of know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And quite often the songs are different, even though they're the same, but we still know what's going to happen. It's fun. We have a lot of fun.
How have you changed roles up on stage, like for people who haven't seen your act before?
Well, Rod does most of the singing, for one. I actually play a drum in one, which I surprised myself that I could actually do it.
Yeah, it's got beat.
Yeah. And, I just appreciate the lyrics so much that it gets me teary-eyed every time we play them.
What kind of response have you had from your audiences so far?
So far, it's been amazing. We actually performed 4 of these songs at Music in the Park in Kamloops, and people bought up the CDs afterwards. They didn't want our cover song CDs. They wanted the originals. So, you know, it was a bit nerve-wracking playing for all groups of people, these songs, but they went over really well because they're upbeat, right? And they've got a rhythm, and there's a lot of punch to them and emotion. And so, yes, we were really happy with the response.
Well, we're going to hear one of them here. Can you set it up for us?
Yes, this song is called I Mourn, and it is basically about the residential school and how it's affected us.
Thanks, both of you, for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Shelley.